How you doing? All right. Welcome to another show of Each One Teach One. My name is Isan. I am representing the organization Ulon, and tonight we're actually getting ready to go into a couple things. I have some a very unique special guest that's getting ready to stop by. What I want to do tonight, as you can see, I'm not having a co-host because I'm going to bring somebody in that I think deserves a chance to represent a lot of people across Chicago. He's a guy who he's between the ages, I'm just going to say 17 to 20, let's say 7. And what this show is about tonight is about giving props to those who really work hard, those brothers who are probably overlooked a lot, who stay out of the news because they're doing what they're supposed to do, whether it's going to school, having a good job, and you just never hear about them. Well, Ulon wants to take the time tonight to give it up to them. So feel free to call in. Again, it's 312-738-1060. This is Each One Teach One. We're going to go ahead and get into a real quick, I guess you could say mood of what it is that we're doing as far as the streets of Chicago. I want to make sure that everybody knows that we are out here, Ulon, and man, we love y'all, man, but we're on these streets for real. So, man, check it out.
Your day's coming. 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 Your day's coming.
We all agree tonight, all of the speakers have agreed that America has a very serious problem.
Man, I'm keeping it 100. I'm not playing any games. All these other chants about love and ice buckets, even Congress and cinnamon. Chicago's the #1 murder capital of the world. So we're all here to support or to stop the violent movement in town. We're going hard for those that lost their lives and the new generation. The shorty, come on, let's get it.
I'm tired of getting late night calls about this gunplay. I pulled up on the scene, kids with texts and AKs. Jump out the whip, dot bush, grab a shorty. Save his life, it's about him before me. Support me, never ignore me, cause I'm sacrificing from Chicago to go. We losing lives last weekend, 9 killed and 30 wounded, and now live. Babies getting hit from the shoes, come on man. I ain't the one to sit back and settle. I'm an activist, a new renegade and rebel. I'm an outlaw for the people cause I care. Man, each one teach one and don't stop there. See, I see it, shorty's brains getting blown out like flame. I'm from the Greens, layer, or the land to the bank. But when I know what needs to get done to get it cracking, I'm a real man, need to get involved. Instead of packing, I'm smacking this beat, cause the violence gotta stop. Cause sirens from the police are the new alarm clocks. And I see red and yellow tape through my hood. Little teddy bears, candles and carts, no good, wake up. I dare anybody to try this. We're self-destructive, we gotta stop the violence.
Rap, let's do have some real bars for the city. The past August was the worst death rate since 1997. Nearly 20 years. Where's my spoken word artist at? Lay your lyrics. Singers, let me see you blow like never before. Dance, let's see you dance like never before. Dance for those that lost their lives. Respect.
All right. So listen up, man. I know that the phone line's been blowing up. We want to give props, to those that actually deserve it. Like I said, today's show is going to be kind of focusing on a young guy who I believe in my heart is the representation of many men, young guys across Chicagoland area, Illinois at that. And they need their props. They need to understand that, man, we are out here. So before that, I know the phone lines are blowing up. I would like to actually get to the phone call real quick. Come on, let's do it. You are online, caller, with Each One Teach One. Are you there?
How you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
This is Robert, man.
This is who?
Robert, your partner, man. Robert.
Oh, how you doing, brother?
You doing good, man. I'm looking at our show, man. I see you picking it up, man. I'm very proud of you, man.
Okay, man, I appreciate you, man. That's a love that you calling in, man. We get these calls from all over the city, man, and you'll be surprised who calls in, man. I had a couple of local celebrities call in, but it's good when I hear from somebody that I actually know, man, hand on hand, who I haven't heard from a while, man. Make sure that you get in touch with this number that I'm going to give out because I want to hear from you after the show.
I got you, man. Man. I got you. I got some ideas for you, man. You know how we get down.
Okay, man. Much love, man. Holla. Okay. And Happy New Year, too. All right. Well, listen up, man. I want to get back into this real quick. I know the phone lines are blowing up, but, I appreciate you guys calling in. Again, this show right here is basically to give props, to this young guy we're getting ready to have come on real quick. I want to kind of like, rev it up a little bit because I want to go into pretty much what has kept this young man out of the limelight, out of being, a person that he's gone through so much, but he kept away from the streets, all right? So real quick, we're going to get right back into it. Check it out.
There's a handful of go-getters up in the go-town. Phone line soldier activists that throw down like Paul McKinney, Eric Russell, Bishop Jones, Zelina Smith, Jamal Green, Andrew Holmes, Jedediah Brown, Amina Mathis, Father Flager, Mark Carr, Lamar Recording, Grand Newberger, Pastor Griff, Phil Gregg, and Lil Raymond, Pastor Wright, Will Cal went to your heart of me. These are the ones every day up in the struggle, cause toll tax and chalk lines are people in my jungle. Tears did drop to the concrete like rain. Got mothers breaking down the screams of insane. So remain on the hunt in the struggle we vet. Cause Chicago is still hard, but we gotta act now. Real men stand up for wild hunters that howl. Packs down the art. Go getters got the power. When I put that on my mama, cause I died for this thing. I represent the Windy City, Orchard to the green. Bar none, real men stand up. Too far the new gangsters working man, blue collar, scholar, let's.
All right. So, man, without further ado, man, I'd like to, kind of capitalize on my guest today. His name is Jay Boogie, also known as Jason Davis. For the show, we're just going to call him Mr. Davis or Jay. And this is a young man who has actually, I guess you could say, beat the odds. We hear about people all the time, who, I guess you could say, this is representation of the young black youth as being those who sag their pants, those who are just out here on the block, but you never hear about the young guys who are actually out here really trying to do something with their lives. Welcome to the show, Each One Teach One, Mr. J. Ride. All right. So, Mr. Davis, let's just jump right off into it. And I know some of your struggle, everybody calls you nephew. Nephew, what has kept you away from these streets of Chicago? What made you make the right decisions?
I'm glad you asked that question, Peter. Honestly, for me, it was my parents. Most importantly, my mother, who stayed on top of me as an adolescent and made sure that I did not stop in my academics until I graduated college.
Okay. And so now, we're all mentioning some of the mothers. Did your father have any, play? Because a lot of times I know there's single parent homes. Were you a little bit luckier to have both parents?
Yes, even though my parents divorced when I was 10 years old, I still had my father in my life every single year. And I moved with my father eventually, where he taught me life lessons about being a man and finding a job, maintaining a job, and making myself appealing to future potential employers.
All righty. So, you guys, you're using some pretty big words, and I like that about you. So, listen, Jason, we are talking about some of the things that stop you from going to the streets, right? But I want to touch, too, on education. So, I know a lot of guys, I've met a lot in the penitentiary who happen to get their GED while locked up, stuff like that. You've never been to the joint, right?
No.
Never been to the joint, and that's darn good to hear that from a young brother. Never been locked up, all right? Okay. And again, your parents helped you along the way, but was there anything that kept you away from the streets itself? I'm sure you've had friends that might have been involved in the gangs or people that you knew that were living that lifestyle, right? So how did you, about all these years, and you're under 30, what kept you not going to the streets?
I have positive influences, good role models in my life. Like I said, both my parents, I had a praying mother, a praying grandmother before she passed away. A lot of people in my family praying for me, making sure that I followed the path that God set for me, and making sure that, I didn't make any life-altering mistakes that would put me back, in progress of being an independent man.
Excellent. I'd also like to touch, too, on the fact that, and I know this about you, they don't know yet, but you are pretty much what is considered a certified mechanic as well, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So, also for this show, if you guys have any questions about your automobile, man, we're here. If you go to www.Ulon.Life, we'll find out more about Mr. Davis. You can call in or you can leave comments. If you have anything type of questions about your vehicle you want to be answered, he's certified. He'll help you out. You can also go to our Ulon.Life page as far as getting in touch with him. If you have any type of automotive questions you may have that you may want to be done. Okay? Pick up what I'm putting down. All right? But yeah, we love you guys, man. I want you guys to call in 312-738-1060. It's right there at the bottom. Today we're capitalizing on those young black brothers who people really just don't hear about, who stayed out of trouble, who actually did the right thing. Now, I know that a lot of guys out there, you know, who are doing the right thing get labeled, right? Sometimes they may get labeled as nerds, they're not the thugs, bookworms, stuff like that. But what about the relationships? Is it harder, because I know the girls mostly want the bad guys, you know what I'm saying, the bad boys, so to speak. What kind of women do you think are actually looking for the good guy nowadays?
It's a very touchy subject, Peter. You know, I'm not sure if that's something, you know, I might want to discuss in public, but
well, you got to. We're right here. It's going live, and we hit them. See, that's one thing about Ulon. We come with the nitty gritty. So there's nothing you can't say. We might try to influence someone out there who might be going through the same thing, and he's gonna need some encouragement.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm gonna stick with you know, what I was taught growing up. You know, when a man finds a wife, he finds the good thing. And so, you know, I leave the rest of our viewers to decide, well, if the wife, the Bible only just specifies that a wife is a good thing. So what is that, to me, what does that say about, you know, the rest of women you have relationships with? You know,
good point.
I leave that just...
the viewer's discretion, huh?
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right. Well, you heard it right there from J. Ride. I would also like to capitalize on the fact of, you know, what you're doing. Like, how did you stay in school to finish? What do you have? Do you have degrees in automotive? Like, what did you do?
I started by graduating high school, and that's the most important thing to do. You have to do in today's world, and then you have to continue to obtain some type of degree.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be a master's degree, but I do recommend that people learn a trade if they are still in school and they're trying to figure out what they're going to do for their career, for their future. Learn a trade, learn something that you can make money on your own with,
Right.
or start your own business with, so that you can make a living, a savings, something that you can pass along to your children, the next generation.
So entrepreneurship is pretty much vital nowadays, would you say?
It is the newest thing since sliced bread. Entrepreneurship is the hottest thing going now, and I think everyone should take part.
It's a commodity, huh?
And we as a black community need to support our own black businesses in our community and stop spending money with Fortune 500 companies, taking money out of our communities and giving them to the corporations that are supported by corporate America, you know.
So moms and pop stores.
Exactly.
Right? Okay. Really good tips. I'd like to say something. You know, I noticed that a lot of people that have called in are so supportive of the show, and you know, they stop me, you know, all the time, and they're asking stuff, and so I know I'm gonna get stopped on this show right here, right?
Okay.
And I just gotta say something real quick, only because I happen to know this guy personally, and I'm not trying to put you on a spot, right?
Oh, all right.
But I'm gonna put you on a spot, ladies. This man right here recently is single, and yes, each one teach one. We promote, you know, people that are like-minded. So if there are any like-minded women that definitely are looking for a good guy, somebody who really has a good job, educated, has stayed out of the crime arena, man, feel free to call in. Feel free to get up with us after the show, 312-834-8020. Again, Ulon has another program where we help women who need shelter, and we're working on the guys' part as well. So we're out here promoting today a young man, Jason Davis, who has beat the odds. I want to start focusing more on young brothers who are actually out here doing positive things in not only the community, but with their families, where other younger guys can look up to them. You know what I'm saying? So I also do this part where I'd like you to give a chance to give a shout out to somebody, people that may have influenced you along the way and who may have been a part of something, to create, who you are today, or just friends. So you could shout out away. Got anybody that you may think, may be worthy of it? May or may not.
Only those people who have my best interests at heart. And so definitely, of course, my parents.
Okay.
And I thank you as well, Pete, for your wisdom.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
And also, just everyone in my family, everyone that prayed for me over the years. It's many individuals that I can't name, but I'm going to say I'm the product of my upbringing.
Okay.
So
that's what's up. I want to also give a shout out, man, to my Seashell crew, man. You guys know who you are. You know what I'm saying? I got my Seashell crew always, supportive of me. But I also want to say, I look at a lot of guys, right, who are the same age as you. I've actually go to the county jail, and I see them behind the glass, and I hear their cases, and they want me to go up, to speak to the judge for them and try to, help them get a lenient term, as far as the sentencing and stuff like that. Have you ever thought about, because I know you give back to the community as far as what you do automotively and stuff like that. With you being such a strong individual, have you ever thought about, nephew, going out there and doing anything as far as humanitarian-wise? Or, you have so much positive things going on about you. And I like the way you carry yourself. I mean, this got to be the coolest guy ever, y'all. He's just like, so, yeah. But I like that about you. Listen, Mr. Davis, it is an honor to really have a chance to promote this. We're going to do this more on the show. I want to promote Young Brother. So if you guys know of anybody who's in your area, we want to take the chance, Ulon, to get them out here, to push them, to promote them, to talk about what they're doing in the neighborhood. I remember my boy used to have a show back in the day. I think he's still doing it, Harry Porterfield. Someone you should know, where they talk about, the areas. Well, Ulon has that. Each one teach one. Well, we're going to talk about those individuals in the hood starting today, because you are going to be the trendsetter, So, again, have you ever thought about doing some things? Because I think you're really a perfect candidate for something like this.
Yes, of course. I think that all individuals should give back and pay it forward for what you've been blessed just by divine intervention. And so, sure, Pete, if we can get together and do something, I'll be more than willing.
Definitely. You guys that know me know that I'm often talking about J Ride, or he has many different aliases, J Boogie, or I just call him Nephew, because he's definitely like a family member, somebody who, even though he's a little younger than me, I look up to, because you are, a really good gentleman that I think that any person would be lucky to be around, male or female. Guys could definitely learn some things. Women, could get a good vibe, and, who knows, take it from there. I'm playing matchmaker, as you can see. I'm trying my best to play matchmaker here. Cupid in the house. Listen up, you guys. So today's show, again, feel free to call in if you got any questions for Nephew, 312-738-1060. I also want to talk about, a couple more things real quick before we go, because, we're running out of time. Listen, today is, our season finale. We will be coming back in April. But I want you guys to reach out to us at Ulon.Life. If you have any ideas for any type of shows, we're always concerned about listening to you guys. And you can call our personal line, which is 312-834-8020. Ray, where you at, Ray? I didn't see you today. We have one of our personal guys, who always follows us. And that's a good guy. His name is Ray. And I'm surprised he's always Johnny on the spot. But listen up. Ulon still has our Ulon housing program that's open for the women who are between the ages of 18 to 50. If you know a woman who is in need of shelter, and she definitely trying to get on her feet, maybe she has an X on her back because she may have been locked up before, we'll give you a chance. If DCFS is studying and you were trying to get your kids back, we can start a report with DCFS to talk about some of the good things you're doing. If you are homeless and you'd like to get back on the grind, and that's another good thing I'd like to pull you into, Jason, is to get into some of the things that Ulon's doing with the, the shelter and the homeless people, because I think that you have a good voice You're very positive, and I think that somebody who could be like you could be like a big brother. You know what I'm saying? Mentor to a lot of these younger guys, women, men, as long as they're willing to listen. You know, I think you have a lot to offer. So, last but not least, what is your spiritual connection? I mean, are you a strong believer in what is your what do you really believe in? We don't have to get specifics, but what did you want to lead the people with about something dealing with faith?
I think in this world you have to have a spiritual foundation. It doesn't matter what your faith denomination is, as long as you believe in the higher power and that that there's something more than this world that we see on a day-to-day basis. Faith is something that you can't see. Hope is one thing that seems to be said throughout. So the general media, the mainstream media, having hope, but really you have to have faith.
Wow, I think those are really good, valid points too. It's been an honor. I'm so glad that you had a chance to kind of come by because there's so many young guys out there. If you're watching this right now and you know somebody who really is doing well, it might be your nephew, it might be your little brother, it might be your big brother, somebody who's in the community who has been a beacon of light for us in a dark time, in a dark place, someone you can count on. I want to kind of showcase them. So please reach out to us at 312-834-8020. Okay? Much love, my boy Rob, who just, turned in earlier, and to all the other people out there who are listening. I know a lot of times you call in and the phone lines, saying I'm busy and you can't get through. You are definitely with us no matter what. So we're getting ready to close this out, nephew. I want to know, right, real quick before we go, one last thing too. What about you? What are some of the? Do you have any idols out there? Anybody that you could look back upon your life and said helped you out besides your parents? Because I know you're quick to say your parents,
Right.
But do you have anybody who helped you out along your path?
Sure. My professor in college.
Okay. Now we're talking.
That's right.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. He worked to help me get my first job at a dealership, and was always in touch with me after I graduated. And later on, I was called by another dealership, and they saw that the college I went to, and they knew my professor that I had, knew that I had the proper training. And so I just accredited the program that I was in. I was grateful that I went to a college out of my district and was able to have in-district fees, and grateful to my parents for setting me up with a college fund.
Excellent. Was that at City College?
Not a city college of Chicago,
Okay.
but it was a community college,
City College. Okay.
that was accredited,
All right.
and I'm grateful for that entire experience.
Wow. Well, you heard it here. Sometimes you may have to go to and I don't think it's any lesser for anybody to go to any type of community college because you're getting the same professors. Some of the professors actually come from universities. That's a fact. You guys, man, it's been a great season. We just want to keep promoting things that are positive, you know what I'm saying? So we love you. Please feel free to reach out. Again, it's been an honor, man, having you on the show, man. Love you, man. Like a brother, man, a little nephew, you know what I'm saying? All right, you guys. Man, each one teach one, and don't stop there. Tune in next season, man. We love you guys. Holla.